There's been a lot going on in the news recently with the California earthquakes and with Cameron Boyce. Just as of I'm filming this, he just passed away, I believe yesterday. And there's always so many negative things in the world that you can think of that will always be there. And everyone's constantly freaking out over how our world is falling apart and how Donald Trump is an awful president and how America is turning into a communist country. But that is one thing that I did want to mention. With 4th of July just passing, I have had the opportunity over the past few years to spend a lot of time in a lot of sort of patriotic reenactments, and it has helped me learn that America thinks it's so special. I've learned that is what I get out of this, is America thinks it's special, especially now. America always thought it was special, and now we're thinking we're special because there are so many new problems that we're encountering, and we think that they are problems that are brand new and that nobody has dealt with before. But what I've learned, even with the other founding fathers, is that these problems are not anything new, not anything exciting. At the dawn of the country, even, many of, the people who we think of as the founding fathers as, I don't think I need to elaborate on that. They all had widely different views. Some of them thought that certain branches had too much power, while others thought that they didn't have enough power, and they knew going into this that if Americans didn't constantly defend their liberty, that America would fall. And a lot of them, are founding fathers who started the country. I've learned through these different programs, they believed that although this was the best system, they didn't know how good of a system it would be. This is a completely untested form of democracy that they had no idea how it would react or, feel to any of these sort of topics. And it's just important to remember that as much as some of you may not want to hear this, you're not special. Thinking that our country is falling apart, you're not special. This isn't new. Thinking that you're special because your president is an awful person, you're not special. Hoovervilles. Remember that point in history? People hated him. That's why they called them Hoovervilles. They believed that he was the reason they were having those problems. And it is important to remember that as much as we are having these problems with our country today, that doing these sort of patriotic events have helped me realize how the problems that we face are not new. They've happened before throughout history. I like to consider myself fairly educated, and from what I have learned in my education is history tends to repeat itself. I have taken enough history classes to know that American history and also world history tends to repeat itself because people are ignorant. People don't read up on their history. So I have a message to any of you who are constantly saying they want to leave America, or that it is awful, or everyone is going to die because Donald Trump is an awful person and he should go to hell. to take a moment, step back and read history, and learn that he is awful. But even compared to some leaders today, to any of you who want to go somewhere else, I dare you to spend a moment in countries like Saudi Arabia. Compared to most of the world, even most of the developed world, we are still, throughout everything that is happening, one of the freest countries in the entire planet, if not the freest country. Yes, even places like Canada and the UK have still not quite reached our level of democracy, although they are close. So yes, there may be many problems that we have in our country today, but throughout my studies of current world issues, as well as world history and American history, we are still, despite all of our current problems, better off today than 95% of our ancestors. I would like to add on that I know we have problems today. I'm aware of the border crisis and of the large parade that had no need to happen. And yes, I'm well aware that Trump thinks he is basically a god, but that doesn't change the fact that, as much as many people would like to deny it, we are still one of the freest countries in the world. And after spending so much time in these sort of political parades and doing all of these different shows and pageants, and for July 4th for the past 6 years I've been helping out with a certain festival, like colonial heritage festivals and whatnot. It really has made me proud of my country, and despite all of the problems we're having, we're still better off than most people.